Brazil is about to change its role in the offshore funds industry, with Brazilian investors looking closer to assets abroad. I am Mitchell Diniz, and this is São Paulo Direct by Dukascopy TV. And I'm here with Seymour, founder of DMS Offshore Investments Services. Welcome to Brazil, Don. In a general overview, how was the year of 2015 to offshore funds?
Thank you. It's very good to be here in Brazil for our 5th annual DMS Offshore Investment Funds Summit. We've seen interesting things this year, but overall, we're pleased with our progress this year. From a Brazil perspective, we've seen a transition in the market, and we're quite pleased about that and look forward to positive results in the year ahead.
What was the role of Brazil in this scenario? Did the country win or lose relevance?
Okay, well, insofar as the importance of Brazil to the offshore investment funds market, we continue to believe in the Brazilian market, even looking back to the transition we've seen this year, as we've seen international investors move away from investing directly into Brazil via hedge funds and into Brazilian markets. We've seen good growth in terms of Brazilian family offices investing, allocating greater amounts of capital to international markets through offshore structures. So Brazil still continues to be very relevant in the offshore funds market, and we think that's a trend that will continue.
There were a few compliance updates last year. What are their impact in the market so far?
Well, it's had I would think the most significant impact in terms of transparency requirements have been with FATCA and CRS. What that has done has essentially pushed sponsors to higher quality jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands, who was one of the early adopters of FATCA and also the CRS standards. As there's greater focus on compliance internationally, we believe that this flight to quality will continue. There is greater scrutiny from international regulators, including tax regulators like the US IRS, and now with the various tax regulators around the world, in the OECD countries. This scrutiny should intensify in 2016 and 2017 as CRS becomes fully implemented. So sponsors are realizing that there is no longer any place to hide to avoid strong international compliance standards. So they're moving now to ensure that they're complying with all of the standards across the globe.
And how the investors are seeing Brazil right now? What were their expectations, and how they are seeing the crisis that the country is facing nowadays?
All right. Well, the mood of the international investor has definitely changed, more negative towards Brazil. Prior to that, or prior to this year, there was great optimism in terms of the future of Brazil because of the infrastructural development that was happening due to the World Cup and due to the Olympics. So international investors were very bullish on Brazil, and we're setting up structures to take advantage of that opportunity. Now, what has changed is that they are no longer as confident about the economic growth in Brazil because of higher than usual political risk. They see that there's the prospects in the near term of this turning around are very low. There are also issues that have unfolded because of the Ike Batispa affair, which has had an outsized impact on the market. Even though Ike Batispa did not run a hedge fund in Brazil, the perception outside is that international investors lost a lot of money investing in Brazil through the various schemes that Batispa had in place, and that has increased some of their fear about investing further in other Brazilian opportunities.
What is important to clarify to Brazilian investors that decided to invest abroad?
Well, what's important to know that it's getting easier and easier all the time because of local requirements in Brazil that have been relaxed to enable Brazilian investors to allocate greater amounts of their wealth to international investing opportunities. As you look at global economic growth, the countries that are growing, that have the strongest economies, are countries like the United States, Europe, India, and it's very important in terms of investors in Brazil to get the best performance and also preserve their wealth to be able to take greater advantage of these international opportunities. It's easier and easier to achieve that now because of the local regulations being relaxed, as well as in terms of structures and costs in places like the Cayman Islands being more accessible to Brazilian investors.
Thank you very much for the interview, Don. Mitchell Diniz to São Paulo Direct by Dukascopy TV.